Well, hey guys, today I'm going to build rustic benches out of Rough-Sawn cedar for my kids' schools to auction off. This cedar came from a tree on the school's property and was milled by somebody other than myself, but we'll let that slide this time. As I mentioned in my last video, I've brought some of my dad's tools over from his shop. I thought it would take just a quick second to take a look at what I've gotten so far. Now, as you probably are guessing, my dad was a pretty big fan of the green tools. We got a lot of grizzly going on here. Starting with the 14-inch grizzly bandsaw back there, we've also got a 16-inch grizzly that's a 220-volt saw. I got the 16-inch dual drum sander from Grizzly. This will come in handy for finishing out some of those wider boards. The dust collector is going to be a must-have. It's also 220-volt. There's a bunch of plumbing still over at my dad's shop I got to pick up. This is going to be a very valuable tool. I've got a 10-inch Grizzly table saw, also 220 volt. The tabletop is going to need a little bit of work as it's been sitting for a long time and it's got a little surface rust. Should be an easy fix. We've got the Grizzly 6 by 80-inch edge sander. I can remember using this a lot when I was a kid in my dad's shop. And last but not least on the Grizzly tools is the 6-inch joiner. Another one that's going to come in really handy with these woodworking projects. Along with the big stuff, I've got some miscellaneous sanders and saws, a nice Delta hollow chisel mortiser that I know I'll put to good use. We've got a stand-up drill press. I grabbed some miscellaneous clamps and things like that, but there's still piles and piles of stuff in my dad's shop. I just don't have a place to put them yet until I get my walls framed in, and that's hopefully going to start pretty soon. But enough about all that, let's get to today's project. Now today, the benches I'm building are going to look something like this. These are pictures of a prototype that was built by one of the other dads at the school. Several of these benches have already been auctioned off as a fundraiser for the school. A couple of the other dads, myself, and one of the school employees are building these benches so that they can be delivered. Now the other day I got off work a little bit early, and so I cut a bunch of what are going to be the sides of these benches. What I'm going to do is router a notch for the seat to sit in, notch pieces for the backs, and then make little armrest pieces. The original has screws going through it that are visible. I'm going to cut plugs out of scrap pieces of cedar so that all of the hardware is actually hidden. Now we've been given artistic license to make these our own, kind of. I'm going to put the seat 16 inches off the ground. The floor cut is raked quite a bit so that the back is leaned out. I think I'm going to put the seat parallel with the armrest instead of parallel with the ground because I think you'll be sitting back too far. Well, let's start laying it out. The top is 16. Now I'm going to router out this channel a 1/2 inch deep, and then I'll put screws in from the outside of the chair and then put plugs in them. I need to select the seat so that I know how deep to make this. Now these benches are going to be 48 inches wide, so I'll make the seat piece 49, and that will accommodate my 1/2 inch inset on the side pieces. All right, since I've got a live edge piece on both sides, I'm going to establish a center point so that I can square both edges, and I'm going to take it from this side because this is the widest. This will give me the widest seat. This edge we are almost 16, and 16, I mean it's pretty darn close. So what I can do is pull 49 inches be due for a blade. I think what we'll do next is cut out a back so that I can find out how far in to set this in the sides. Now in the picture, the back part sticks out a little bit over the edges. The overall width is 53 inches, and I think we'll let this hang over the edges, the thickness of the board on each side. So we'll add 5 inches to 53 and make it 58. A little bit of softwood on the edges here, which is probably why they had to have the tree taken down. The school employee that's helping us with this is going to put some sealer on the backs and bottoms. The backrest part is 9.5 inches. I'm going to notch the edges of this back piece so that the top of it is just a little bit above the back. I think actually what I'm going to do to ensure that I don't cut this too small is I'm going to build the sides and attach the seat, and that way I know exactly my measurement needs to be. I think that's a better way. Okay. Okay, now I need to router out this channel. I think instead of routering out this channel, I'm going to use my circular saw to make a couple of scores a 1/2 inch deep, and then I get to use my favorite new tool, my timber framing slick that Jeff Goodson made me. Probably a cleaner process too. I guarantee this is a cleaner method than a router. Well, that's no good. You guys okay down there? I'm going to pre-drill the holes for the deck screws that I'm going to use. And I'm going to start with a Forstner bit so that I can have a nice clean hole for my plugs to fit into. I can do up to a 5/8 plug, but I think 1/2 inch is plenty. So I will get the 1/2 inch bit. We'll do a small pilot hole the rest of the way through. Let's fasten the seat base. There's a bit of a knot bumping out there, so I think I'll make this side be the front. All right, now I'm going to make sure the sides are square, and I'll measure out exactly how I need to notch that back piece. That's as square as it can be as rough cut lumber. Four feet exactly. I should have known better. That's not half bad. Man, I cannot tell you how good that smells. I just cut through a knot full of pitch and it smells excellent. Okay, not bad at all, not bad at all. Get some holes drilled, some screws set, and then we will make our pieces for the armrests. Not bad, not bad. But that rock, I gotta fix that rock. That's not gonna work. So, let's get some armrests on this thing. All right, 12-inch, I think is on tap. Now I gotta get used to the fact that I have new tools, and so what I'm going to do for these armrests is I'm gonna scribe out a line about so that I have about a 5-inch wide armrest, and then I'm going to take it over to the bandsaw that I now have and cut it out. Question is, which bandsaw do I want to use? Whoopsie. That didn't sound very good, did it? Well, it looks like there's a little problem here. Looks like the rubber wheel has come apart and bound up. So we'll have to get a new one of those and try again later. Bummer. Yeah, it's been sitting a long time. Well, I'm just going to use a scroll saw here because the bandsaw is not available, and I want it to be, I don't want it to be a nice straight cut like with a circular saw. Now, one thing I do want to do is cut a bevel on the back side so that it matches the angle of the chair back. Uh-oh. All kinds of carnage today. Broken blade. I don't know if I have any more that long, darn it. What else? What else? What else? There's what?
There's 9 poops in the yard.
There's 9 poops in the yard. Oh no! Get your pooper scooper. And that has been a doggy update. So armrests feel a little high, not gonna lie. Let's cut some plugs and plug these holes. All right, I've got 2 different kinds of plug cutters. I've got a bit for making tapered plugs and straight plugs, and I want straight plugs on this. Oh yeah, that looks much better. So I gotta get some wood glue. That'll work real good. Well guys, I was correct in thinking that this didn't look right. It doesn't look like the picture. There's a much larger gap between the backboard and the seat. And the reason for that is, after confirming the measurements on the original bench built, I set mine at 16 inches off the floor, which is what typically benches are. The bench that was built is 20 inches off the ground, and so that's why everything's out of proportion. So what I'm going to do here, I don't have enough wood to completely start over. I'm just going to take the armrests and the back down 4 inches, and this bench will just sit a little lower. It'll be proportionate to the original, but it'll be more like the standard height of a bench. Well, as you can imagine, the next 4 went much quicker than the first one. I've got all 5 finished. I'm going to load them up into my cargo trailer and drop them off at my kids' school tomorrow after work. I appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you again real soon. And a nice Delta hollow chisel, a nice Delta man. But let's get to today's project. Now today the building, several of these benches have already That's nice and round though. Looks good.